Okay. Can you see me? All right. Okay. I hope this works. Well, I can hear people. Hang on one second. All right. Here's okay. Here we are. Welcome back. If you were with us earlier today, we did a breaking news because it was very important information. And the goal was to inform, understand, we're not trying to upset anybody, but we just got to tell it like it is, right? And there's some things that people intentionally don't talk about and they downplay, right? So earlier today, we talked about how Tommy Reese came to his press conference and let everybody know that Shadur will be playing with a lot of people that are rookies and that he practiced with in the spring, right? And people are like, a lot, right? So they were like Quinshon Junkins, Dillon Sampson, and Harold Fanning Jr. He played with them last week. He played with them last week. So what was the point of making the announcement that he's playing with a lot of people that he played with in the spring who are rookies that came in with him? So that upset a lot of people, and they began to realize this is why Jerry Jeudy was upset, because if he's playing with a lot of people that are rookies, he's not getting the ball. It doesn't matter if they're talking about O linemen. There are no rookie O linemen. So we're not talking about O linemen, right? We're not talking about the running backs because we know Quinshon Junkins is a rookie. We know he's a starter. We know he played last week. And why would you say that? He's the starter. Of course he's going to play. Why would you say that, right? But when it comes to the wide receivers, when it comes to the tight ends, the people that have to catch the ball from Shedeur, you would think it's understood that if Dillon played with the ones, Shedeur is playing with the ones, right? You would think it's understood that Dillon is playing with the ones and Shedeur is playing with the ones. You would think that, right? So that's not necessarily the case. And people are wondering why are they putting Shadur in with the twos and the threes and the rookies. So we talked about that earlier. Go watch that video. It's actually good. It's informative. We shared some video to add context. We shared assets that prove that although Shadur is getting first team reps with the ones, who he's playing with is who he came in with and some of the team he practiced with. And Jerry Jeudy seems to be upset because he's not getting the ball. Now, this time last year or in 2024, Jerry Jeudy overall had 1,100 total receiving yards. He's only been with them for 2 years, last year and this year, apparently. Um, they rotated quarterbacks last year. He still got 1,100 yards. They're rotating quarterbacks again. He only has 356 yards. So since Dillon has been the quarterback, I looked at two games, the Vikings game and the Dolphins game. Jerry Jeudy didn't even probably have 50 yards, right? So he's upset because now that Shadur is QB1, and remember, Jerry Jeudy was one of the players that came on the record with transparency that Shadur is ready. And what did I say? Watch, he don't get no yards. And what happened? He didn't get no yards. I said he not even the leading wide receiver. They just got him last year, 1,200 yards, leading receiver. This year, he not the leading receiver with Dillon because Dillon's not that guy. He's a check down king. And you would think with him coming on the record and saying Shadur is ready and Shadur coming in, he's happy. And I do believe he is. I think he knew that the reps were essential. They had to build chemistry together. But what's happening? Now, Shadur getting first team reps, but he's going to be playing with a lot of players that he came in with and on the practice team. Code for second and third team when it comes to the wide receivers, when it comes to the tight ends. And Joku's injured. I saw the injury report today. He had 2 DNPs or limited practices, and he might not be there, right? He's a veteran. So by injury and by design, Shadur is going to be out there with the rookies and the inexperienced 2s, 3s, and possibly 4s, but it's only like 1 4 on the depth chart outside alignment. That's what a conversation is. So I said it earlier today. The media is completely messy. Here's what they're doing. The media in Cleveland, Browns media, trying to paint the picture that Jerry Jeudy is mad because Shadur is the starter, that Jerry Jeudy is mad at the QB situation because they're rotating to Shadur. Why the hell would he be mad if Shadur is the starter and he came on the record to say Shadur is ready? So here's what they're doing to Jerry Jeudy, what they did to Tony Brown. We said it. He spoke out for Shadur, and what happened? He wasn't the leading receiver. So that means on the back half of the season, if I only have 356 yards, because Dillon has played the most of the games, and they don't want to keep Shadur in after this game. They want this to be his only game. If you double 356 times 2, he's still not getting to 1,000 yards. That's what he realized. That's why he's upset. So to paint the picture that he's curt and short with the media because of the QB situation, because Shadur is taking over at quarterback, is dishonest. It's a lie. And it's designed to build chaos in the locker room and to pit Jerry Jeudy, who is the leading wide receiver 1, against Shadur. Understand this. They're talking about he's the leading wide receiver and he's upset. I'm like, if he's the leading wide receiver, why the hell don't he have more than 500 yards? Why isn't he the leading wide receiver in stats? Why is he like the 3rd or the 4th receiver? So now they're talking about, well, we don't know what his future going to be like with the team. So now you're going to try to kick him out. I'm like, so you just messy. This man is not mad at Shadur because his answers are short with the media. He don't want them baiting him into anything, right? He don't want them using his words and twisting them, right? That's just what it is. That's just what it is. He's not going to get his money. That's just what it is. Hold on 1 second. So I don't know why I hear a whole lot of something over there. So I had to kind of look. But that's the problem. Jerry Jeudy is not upset at Shadur. Jerry Jeudy is not upset that they switched over to Shadur. Jerry Jeudy is on the record saying Shadur was ready, which means he's an advocate for Shadur. I'm not surprised that he only has 350 yards and he's not the leading receiver. I said they would do this to him. So they're trying to say Jerry Jeudy's energy is bad energy for Shadur. So they don't want him to play. So Shadur is going to be playing with a lot of players that he came in with and that are rookies. Now you see what's happening? They don't want Shadur to bow out with Jerry Jeudy. That's what's happening. That's why he's upset, because he sees it. Because they didn't do this last year, and they rotated quarterbacks last year. They had like 3 or 4 quarterbacks last year. They went from Deshaun Watson to Jameis Winston, and he still had 1,100 yards. This is shenanigans. This is musical chairs. This is isolation. This is retaliation. This is y'all not trying to win, and I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to ball out. That's what it is. That's why he's upset. So just listen to this. And this is what I mean by these people are messy, right? This is Jerry Jeudy's interview after they lost to the Ravens. I personally don't think he had any issue whatsoever, and I think he had good things to say. So let's take a look. Loss was a bad loss. It wasn't a bad loss for Shadur. I mean, hell, they knew what they were going to get with Dillon, right? Defense and their efforts to try to. Let's start over. Start with CPR. Listen to this.
That's all we could do. This game over with. Move on to the next.
It's probably hard to think about, but Myles Garrett has a 4-sack game, that interception for pick 6 from Dillon. What can you say about your defense and their efforts to try to seal this win?
Defense been holding down all season. They've been doing everything all season. We just gotta, compliment the game. Offense gotta do a better job of scoring points. Sustaining drives. Finishing the game like we just had a chance to do right here. Defense. always doing the thing hard.
How'd you see Shedeur grow from that first drive to that final drive, giving you guys a chance to win?
You could just tell he was slow to gain confidence. The first drive got his feet wet, and after that, he'll just gain more and more confidence. Throwing some better balls, giving people more chances. Like I said, we all got to be better in some areas for him. It was tough.
So basically, he don't have a problem with Shedeur. He said he could see Shedeur getting more comfortable as time went on, gaining more comfortable being back there in the pocket. Shedeur said by the time he settled in, it was like, oh, this is what it is. And he was straight. And people could see that towards the end, right? People could see that Shedeur had gotten comfortable because that was his first reps with the first team, be it the O-linemen or the receivers. And that's really the problem. The problem shouldn't be Jerry Jeudy has an issue with the quarterback situation because he's talking about we need reps, right? The problem is Stefanski created a toxic culture where Dillon was favoritism, and Dillon was given first team reps way back in the summer as a QB3 and as a QB2, and there was no emphasis on getting Shadur ready, even as a backup. And as people are going around the league and talking about how it is that Aaron Rodgers, when he was the backup, he even got reps. Or when Aaron Rodgers was the starter, he still got at least 2 or 3 reps. Nobody is saying Shadur should have the same first team reps as the starter if you don't want him to be the starter. But then that opens up a can of worms as to why was he not the starter. It points right back to Stefanski, the toxic culture he created of corruption, of setting Shadur up to fail. And now, instead of just setting Shadur up to fail, I'm trying to cause friction in the locker room between Jerry Jeudy, who's supposed to be what? Wide receiver 1. To be honest with you, you can see right here why Jerry Jeudy is upset. Look at these receiving yards from, I think this might be the Miami game. Okay, let me make sure y'all can see it. Okay, on my screen, I'm going to make myself smaller so y'all can see why Jerry Jeudy is upset. And what you're getting ready to see is just an example of what his typical games look like under Dillon. He ain't upset that Shadur is taking the field. He's happy about that. He's not happy that now that Shadur gets first team reps, they want him to play with a lot of the players he played with in the spring. They want to sit the starters and play the second and third string. That's why he's upset. And I don't blame him because it's shenanigans after shenanigans to hold back the best quarterback. You didn't want to get Shadur ready. And now that you're forced to put him in as QB1 due to supposed injury, you don't want him to be ready and have chemistry with who you say is wide receiver 1. But even his stats don't show he wide receiver 1 because they chose to roll with Dillon. And Dillon is not that guy. As you can see right here on the screen, look at Jerry Jeudy's numbers. The receivers, Harold Fanning Jr., that's number 44, who you should see throwing out there with Shadur, catching passes from Shadur versus the Raiders. You saw Harold Fanning Jr. catch passes from Shadur versus the Ravens. He is a rookie. He should be out there playing, right? Why is he the leader with 4 receptions? Because I told y'all, this is their guy, right? Every year, they got to get somebody who's black to be their guy. It was Jerry Jeudy. But since he decided to advocate for Shadur, that Shadur is ready, he's not the guy. Who's next? Jamari Thrash. He's supposed to be a rookie. He's a second or third teamer. He should be out there. He even is above Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is over here with 2 receptions for 17 yards. That's why he's upset, because he's not going to get to 1,000 yards, which likely is incentivized in his contract. This is why he's upset. This is not about Shadur. This is about the mishandling and the lack of prioritization of the quarterback that could help this team win, the lack of a winning strategy. I'm sick of this. If I'm Jerry Jeudy, because y'all rotated quarterbacks last year and I still got 1,100 yards. So why, when you rotate quarterbacks this year, why Shadur got to go play with the 2s and the 3s? How the hell am I going to get 1,000 yards. He not. And see, he cooperated. He played nice. They forced him to share a locker with Flacco. It's documented. Go out there, Google it. He played nice. He did that with a smile. He didn't gravitate towards Shadur like they told him. And then what? When Dillon came on, he said all the right things about Dillon, helping him. We want to be the best. He said that. He did all the right things they wanted him to do. He stepped and fetched it. Let's just be honest. And then he joined in on the others and said Shadur is ready. And now he don't have no reps, no catches, no yards. This is why he's mad, because this is some BS, bro. I'm supposed to be wide receiver number one. But guess who's number one? The tight end. If you watched the Ravens game, you heard them celebrate who? The tight end. Mark Andrews is the leading receiver with the most yards for receiving. The tight end, it should be a wide receiver. That's how that works. So he sees what's happening. He sees the switch. He sees that I did what y'all wanted me to. You forced me to share a locker with Flacco. I said I'm willing here to help Dillon, even though he ain't good. And I told the truth that Shadur is ready. And then now when Shadur gets the nod and the first team reps, Jerry Jeudy can get the reps in practice. But guess what? He can't get them in the game because they're going to put in Jamari Thrash, Harold Fannin Jr., Jerome Ford, Dillon Sampson, Blake Whiteheart, and Gage. That's what they're going to do. So he's still not going to get the opportunity. And understand this. They know Shadur probably can get 100 yards to Jerry Jeudy. They know this, right? And how do you know this? Because if you know anything about Shadur, whether it was at Colorado or whether it was in the Ravens game, he spreads that ball out. And he going to at least have 1 to 2 people in 100 yards because he himself typically can get 200 to 300 yards. So Jerry Jeudy technically can't get his numbers with these last 7 games because 100 times 7 is 700 plus 356 is 1,356 yards. Am I right? So he can get his numbers with Shadur. They don't want him to. Even though he shared a locker with Flacco and said nothing, even though he supported Dillon and it didn't work, but he said nothing. But when he supported Shadur, and Shedeur gets the QB1, he's not the guy. That's why he's mad. And for them to paint the picture that this is negative energy and when Shedeur takes over, this ain't about Shedeur. This is about Kevin Stefanski and the shenanigans that run through the Browns organization, which makes that organization toxic. That's what this is about. So for those of you who are confused when you hear what they're saying about Jerry Jeudy, it's a lie. Jerry Jeudy not mad that Shedeur is the quarterback. He not mad that they rotated quarterbacks because they did last year and he had 1,100 yards. He tired of the foolishness with retaliating against people that stand up for Shedeur or that stand up for the team to be able to put in a position to win. Because they rotated quarterbacks last year and he still got 1,100 yards. And because Shedeur can get him 700 yards, they don't want him to. So now he's a problem and they talking about his future is uncertain. I guess once he stopped playing alone and speaking the truth and expecting to win and speaking his mind, he got to go. I'm just saying, that's just what it is. All right, so let's get over here to understand why it is they're saying Shedeur has one chance to get this right? First off, Shedeur Sanders does not only have one chance. Let's just be honest here, okay? The fact that they're building the narrative, and I say they, I'm talking about the media, the fact that they're building the narrative that Shedeur only has one chance because they only want him to have one chance because they're trying to say if Shedeur is not perfect, we're going back to Dillon. Let's be clear. Dillon has not earned anything but the reality of the label of an undrafted free agent. Dillon did not earn QB1, 2, 3, or 4 in the summer. Shedeur won the contest, and they didn't care. Dillon was rewarded You heard Mary Cabot. Dillon was rewarded with first team reps with the offense and the defense. What did he do to deserve it? Nothing. Shadur was rewarded with first team defense only. So way back then, they were trying to keep him away from the offense, trying to keep him away from wide receiver one, trying to keep him away from Jerry Jeudy, which is why he was sharing a locker with Flacco. Why? Because they know, like many people who watch Well-Off Media knows, Jerry Jeudy came up to Colorado with the Denver Broncos led by Russell Wilson and worked out. Jerry Jeudy knows who Shedeur Sanders is. They know each other. Shedeur, Travis, the quarterback coach, Bucky, Coach Prime, Mata, everybody. Carmani was even still there. When the Denver Broncos came up there to work out, Coach Prime had the field catered to their hash marks and everything. All of the team was excited. We got footage. We're going to watch it. Let's please watch it. I always try to incorporate something good. Going back and watching that video made my heart warm. I'm like, man, I sure missed this. They know Jerry Jeudy knows Shedeur. That's why he was steered to Flacco. And after Flacco left, they tried to steer him to Dillon, and he cooperated. But when he became concerned about himself, well, how dare you? And now he's painted as the villain. And instead of Tony being retaliated against, because they kicked them out, they retaliated against him when Shedeur hits the field. They're not going to let Jerry Jeudy look like a 1,100-yard wide receiver after sticking up for Shedeur and giving a damn about his own yards. And now his future, like Tony's, it look like it might be over. You can't win. You can't win with them because guess what? If you sell yourself out, you're going to hate yourself. If you give a damn about your own stats and your own incentives and your own family and your own career, you can't win because you're going to be labeled as a problem. If you support the guy that they kicking on, like Shedeur, like Tony, you're going to be ostracized and your contract will be terminated. So you won't even be traded to another team. And now Jerry Jeudy is a problem, and he cooperated. He didn't have to share a locker with Flacco. They forced that on him. They didn't ask him. They told him what to do, and he didn't say nothing. This is why you don't go along with it. And what they've been saying, Jerry Jeudy is normally, the guy. I'm like, yeah, y'all trying to say he normally a company guy. And now that they don't want him out there with Shadur to look good, he a problem. Because he like, damn, I'm only going to get 356 yards. And they took that and used it against Shedeur. That's crazy. That's starting trouble in your own locker room. So we're going to look at this video. And I hate that they're doing that to him, but, these players got to start learning where they work at. And if y'all don't know, Jerry Jeudy went to Alabama. So he expected, because Alabama is a favorite university, what did he expect? He expected that this not be the case. That's what he expected, for this not to be a problem. But, these players got to understand it don't matter what school you go to. The goal is to control you. And if you agree with it in the beginning and change your mind to care about your damn self, you're going to get put out. That's just what it is. So let's see. I'm trying to see if this is it. So, yeah, this was Russell Wilson, Jerry Jeudy, and some of the Broncos at the University of Colorado. And I'm trying to see why it looks like this. What the hell is this in? Okay, hold on one second. You know how they be doing. All kind of stuff on the screen that I'm not looking for. Hold on one second. I think because I didn't go to Bucky's page directly. I pulled it up from a I pulled it up from the internet. Let's see. Well-Off Media YouTube video. Let's see if we can get it there. Yep, here it is. So we got it straight from Bucky. So let's get it from there. Let me let this part play out. So while I get this queued up, y'all let me know what y'all are thinking, right? Like, why do you think it is that he's upset? Are we missing a particular angle with, why Jerry Jeudy could be upset? Because I feel like it's plain and it's crystal clear. And I don't think y'all would ever believe that it's acceptable for Judy to be treated this way. So I'm not asking you if you think it's fair. I'm asking you, can you see another reason other than one that we have discussed as to why Jerry Judy would be upset? All right, here we go. Coach Prime. So even Shalimar was still in this video, and there was Shadur. Let's see if I can play a little bit of it.
10,000. Hey, it's honest. He owed me 10 bands. And now I'm gonna get back in blood.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
I need my 10,000 before I go to Vegas.
So what they were talking about
into a different person.
is
What you mean?
Hold on.
Look, he's like this.
Because the NFL was around him, he must have been hanging out with them or working out with them. Talking about Daryl Coleman Jr.
Oh, yeah.
That's Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson. See, they all know Shedeur already.
You need like this morning? Oh, it's about 11.
Nice to meet you, Jake. How you doing? Yes, pleasure, man. Yeah. We do everything for us. You train and do all this stuff.
Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I'll be back out here watching in a second. We can just get our lift in, and then I'll be out there.
Okay, cool.
Skinny on this side. Like
So these are all the Broncos people at Colorado, which is awesome.
Call good.
But you don't mind this recipe? Like you don't like you don't like the dimples? I don't really like the dimples. Okay. Because our balls are kind of small. I'm gonna put a little bit
Football,
more.
the NFL football is a little larger. That's their stuff. The Broncos, ball city number 3.
I don't like the one with all the dots and stuff on it. 8, 9. I thought the second best ball on the team, bro. I'll give that to Smitty. Yeah, I like that.
I think that might be, is that Jerry Judy right there with the, I know he got, he might, I don't know if he had lots back then. I don't know who's and I know that's
crew. We just gave a couple of days advance. They put the pro hash marks on the field. They got it all prepared for the Broncos, man. Wonderful.
All right, so if you're just not joining us, we're watching Colorado with the Broncos came. If you watch the whole video, I'm going to put the link in the chat so y'all can go watch the rest of it. This is directly from Bucky's page, so y'all can go watch the rest of it there. It was heartwarming. If y'all missed in the buffs, just go watch this video. And it's good. It was funny, right? It's just funny. It's just memories, right? So that's that on that. So I put the link in there. So I want y'all to go watch Bucky's video. You can see the Broncos out there. Jerry Judy was a Bronco. He was out there at the time. So see, they knew by the time Shadur got there, they knew by the time Jerry Judy showed up for mandatory camp that he knew Shadur and that there would be some type of rapport. So to interrupt that, they had Jerry Judy sharing a locker with Flacco. And it should show you that that's who they wanted Jerry Judy, who's wide receiver 1, to build chemistry with, right? So they know how important chemistry is. So rather than have Jerry Judy sharing chemistry with Shadur, somebody he already knew and had a rapport with, they denied Shadur Sanders first team reps. And what happened? In the Ravens game, the offense tried to say that they've only heard his cadence 1, 2, or 3 times talking about the linemen, right? And then the receivers, for the most part, Harold Fanning Jr. did fine. I think Jerry Judy didn't understand Shadur throws his receivers open. So that, that was that. I thought that Isaiah Bond, I think the ball for him on that play, and he's a rookie, but he wasn't at camp, I don't think. He came late. So Shadur had never had the opportunity to have first team reps with the most elite receivers that they have. Even now, he got it in practice, but he only got it in the game before practice. And now, as they go into the Raiders game, it's documented. Shadur is going to be playing with a lot of guys that he came in with, the rookies, and who he practiced with in the spring. That is not Jerry Judy, which means he's not going to get far past 356 yards. He'll probably never get to 700. Because if they trying to push to go back to Dillon, Dillon is the reason he only got 356. So that's what that is. So they know what they're doing. That's my point of showing you that they knew that Shadur knew Jerry Jeudy. And if you could see it, right, they keep trying to separate those two. Why? Because Jerry Jeudy is wide receiver 1. Because they know he had 1,100 yards. Because they know Shadur is good. So if Jerry Jeudy and Shadur connect, they're going to ball out. If Jerry Jeudy is used to Shedeur style of play. The fact that they met each other at Colorado builds a rapport and can build communication. They have something to build off of. Add the fact then that they're Black. They have cultural similarities. They don't want all of that to formulate into the dynamic duo like Shadur and Travis. That's why he only got 356 yards with Dillon. And they want to go back to Dillon after this game, which is why they keep saying Shadur only has one chance. So they're expecting Shadur to be perfect. They're expecting him to ball out. And if he doesn't, that's it. And that defines his skill set. That's highly unfair because Dillon hasn't earned anything. Shadur had to come in. Nothing will be given. Nothing will be earned. And then when he earned it, he still didn't get it. But Dillon, because of favoritism and going to the Manning Passing Academy and because of Dan Lanning's friendship with Kevin Stefanski, Dillon was given first team reps. Dillon was given first team reps with the offense and defense back in July. And all the hard work that all of the players speak of and all of the good development that even Tommy Rees is on a record saying that Shadur did what they asked. And he still wasn't given first team reps. So they raised the bar for Shadur so he can't reach it. And they lower it for Dillon so that he can. And Jerry Jeudy having 356 yards is proof of that after having 1,100 yards, even through shuffling quarterbacks the year before. It just proves how Dillon underperforms as a quarterback, and they don't care. And they don't care that it hurts the players who have incentives in their contracts. They don't care that it hurts the players that they have to settle for losing. That's why Jerry Jeudy's upset. And it's shameful to take his frustration and weaponize it against Shadur and to divide them because it shows you they scared to death of Shadur and Jerry Jeudy connecting on and off the field. Now, this is some crazy stuff here. This is crazy. This is so far beyond preparing to win football games. Their full-time jobs have become how to keep Shadur away from QB1, how to keep Shadur away from first-team reps, how to keep Shadur, once he gets first-team reps, away from wide receiver 1 so they can become the dynamic duo like Shadur and Travis. How to keep Shadur from winning versus the Raiders going into Tom Brady's house, who passed on him. How to keep the conversation about why Shadur was pushed to the 5th round out of the mainstream media. This game is rigged before it starts against Shadur Sanders. And with them saying Shadur is going to be playing against a lot of people he was drafted with and practiced with in the spring, non-starters. So you're going to have veterans from the Raiders playing against rookies and inexperienced walk-ons, former practice team players going up against veterans. What you think going to happen? They're going to get bullied. It's almost like they saw that play with Gage at the end that Shadur has worked with and decided, let's set that up. That play with Gage at the end went the way it did because Gage was inexperienced, and the veteran knew to bully him and get that ball from him. Gage was more worried about breaking his fall. These veterans know how to exploit these rookies, and it seems like that's who they're going to put out here with Shadur. This is before the game even starts. And in addition to that, add the mess that they dusting up about Jerry Jeudy, like he has a problem with Shadur, and that's not it at all. And I know, hopefully, Jerry Jeudy didn't text Shadur. Man, you know they be tripping. See, that's what they don't count on. That's the unexpected part. They think they can control everything. They think if they filter the air with Jerry Jeudy being mad at Shadur, that'll actually make Jerry Jeudy and Shadur have issues. And then Jerry Jeudy will ask to play with Dillon instead. And he'll go out there and advocate for Dillon and not Shadur. That's what they think. They never count on the fact that Jerry Jeudy done hit up Shadur with an emoji like, and then Shadur hits back LOL in emoji form. They never count on that. They think they control these guys' thoughts. Just because they can manipulate people in the media and they seek to get submission from these players, they think they control their thoughts and what we think. You're not going to tell us what we see. We don't even have to, by process of elimination, understand why Jerry Jeudy's upset. All you have to do is look at his stats. But this is what they work on. 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Creating havoc between Black players. Dividing, which could potentially be a dynamic wide receiver QB combo in Jerry Jeudy and Shadur. This is what they work on. Deciding what players to put out here that are rookies and walk-ons that likely will not win their one-on-one matchups against veterans from the Raiders. That's what they work on. Exploitation of player skill set, their own player skill set, so they can lose their one-on-ones versus the Raiders. When people say we have to believe that Shadur this, I'm like, listen here. I pray to God that Shadur can overcome this because he's had to overcome before. Not just that Colorado. He had to overcome in the NFL already against his own team. And like Cam Newton said, every time he steps on that field, it's going to be like this. And he's right, because they keep at it. But this is where I say God can make the crooked places straight. And like at Colorado, which I feel like Cam didn't really watch Shadur play, because Shadur got his own sleeve, thank God. This is where I pray that God allows Shadur to overcome this right here. Because they done been exposed enough. People just don't want to do nothing about it. So rather than keep exposing them at the expense of Shadur, let's let Shadur win this and overcome this. Because he can. And he know it. See, Shadur had to overcome the O-line. He never had to overcome his receivers. But now they created moving targets for him. And he got to overcome the O-line and the receivers. And not just the receivers in terms of who to trust. That's one thing. But who has the experience to make these catches? So who can I trust and who can I trust to get it done? Who's my Travis? Who's my go-to? Who's my LeJontay? Let's be real. That's what it is. Who's my Jimmy that I can give that ball to? He can catch it and kick it into third, fourth, fifth, and gear, sixth gear and get it done. Who can I trust that they want to catch it? What did you see with the Rams game? That's what they expect to do every single time. The O-line, the tight ends. Mark Andrews, the Baltimore Ravens. Whatever you saw them do to Lamar is what they want to do to Shadur. Lamar Jackson is pissed at his own damn team. One of the players was in the locker room talking and celebrating. He said, you shut up because you didn't play. He's upset because he watched the film too. He's upset because he watched his own defense protect the damn quarterback on the opposite team. He's upset because they allowed Myles Garrett to tee off on him, his own team. He's upset because he see what they doing to Shedeur, they doing to him. And now it's starting to click to him. That ball wasn't a drop ball. Why is it always the tight ends? It was the tight ends and it was the tight ends at the Celebration Bowl. And they said Shedeur didn't like playing for tight ends. And I figured out why after I watched that. It's tight ends at the Rams game. Shedeur had to overcome in the Panthers game. And he did. But it started out fugazi. Poor play calling. Then he went and said, I want a deep ball. And he got it. He got an ally over there. I don't know who the hell it is. But I think he got one. Tommy Reese talk a good game. And he can dress things up nicely, but actions speak louder than words. And that's why people want Stefanski fired. Because his actions, that they had him right now, his actions show us that he don't want Shedeur to fail. So we got to hear from Tommy Reese now. So why would Shedeur only have one chance? Shedeur don't have one chance. What they're trying to say is they're not going to give him any grace if he makes a mistake. So understand this. Dillon didn't earn anything. He's only in the position he's in because he went to the Manning Passing Academy. That's it. He's not even a good quarterback, so I don't even know why he went there, because he didn't get nothing from it. But that's why he's in the position he's in. You can't say nepotism because he's not related, but it's the same thing. Favoritism got him drafted in the 3rd round. They figured because they had Pickett and Flacco, it wouldn't matter because Dillon would never get a chance to play. But when their backs up against the wall, when Flacco left, they had a decision to make. And it was going to be, I'm not letting Shedeur play. We just going to have to toss the season to the wind. And when Flacco was there, they act like they didn't care about winning. But then when Flacco left, they had no choice but to decide to lose. And that's when the players start speaking out. Shedeur is ready. And that's when they start retaliating against the players. But not defensive players can speak out. They're not on offense, so you can't not throw me the ball. Greg Delpit said at his press conference today, yeah, Shedeur was good. You know, it was good. It was good. I like when he out there. Joe Batonio gave me Callahan type vibes when he was like telling his little story. The caption is Shedeur increased the energy on the field. And he was like, all right, don't go out there and hype up the crowd. Then Shedeur go out there and hype up the crowd. He like, we can't hear. Shut up. People in the comments like, are you going to block for him? It was just giving Callahan vibes, trying to make him seem like he a distraction. But in a laughing and joking manner. I can't stand people like that. I can't stand people that insult you and try to break you down with a joke. And it ain't even funny. Other people said, you know, he increased the energy in the game by the play being exciting. He's saying he increased the energy in the game by telling the crowd to hype up. But now they can't hear. Why you can't hear? You never had any loud crowds before? Nobody ever hyped up the crowd before? Anything to make Shedeur seem like a distraction. So he's the leader of the O-line. So they sent the leader of the O-line out there to make those types of comments. Jerry Jeudy, the leader of the wide receiver, they trying to take his words and twist it and cause friction between Shedeur and wide receiver 1, who they didn't want talking to Shedeur in the first place, which is why he was sharing a locker with Flacco. Look at the extremes they have gone through to keep Shedeur off the field with the most elite players that they have. And look at the retaliation that ensues. And what you can't see is the intimidation that takes place beforehand. The retaliation comes after. And now Shedeur got to go out here against a Veterans Raiders team. And first, he got to defeat his own team. He got to overcome his own team and try to defeat the Raiders at the same time. He should just be playing against the Raiders. But now he got to overfeed the mind games and the physical setups and of the Cleveland Browns. Cam Newton said it. It's going to be like this every single time. So when you talk about this game, I was excited for the game. Now I'm like, Lord Jesus, please let Shedeur. Please, Lord, let him overcome this foolishness. Because he was prepared for this, if you ask me, at Colorado with them setting him up. But he wasn't successful like the Nebraska game. But then again, he was successful with the Baylor game, despite the right side of his offense setting him up to fail and sacked 8 times. So he can overcome. But you know what? It would be nice to just see a clean game with no sabotage from the Browns so he could go out here and get 500 yards like he did at TCU. Just ball out. Even Cam Newton said the betting line is for Shedeur to have only 158 yards. So they're not expecting much from him. Maybe because the lead O-lineman making jokes about he can't hear. So they know what that means. Cam Newton said, nah, it's going to be more than that. It should be. You don't go from 500 yards, 300 yards to the leading yard getter in college. Most accurate with the most yards in college. And then you can't get 150 yards. That's because Dillon can't get 150 yards unless they give it to him, including the referees. And wait till the refs into the chat. Bad calls, no calls. This is Colorado all over again, but on steroids. Because this is the pros. So they're saying he has one chance because they're not going to extend him any grace. That if he makes a mistake, they're going back to Dillon. I say, fine, goddammit, go back to Dillon. Let's see what the fans say about that. Because, see, they doing all of this independent thinking without taking into consideration what the fans going to call for. And this time, the fans need to call for a boycott of the Browns sponsors, starting with Bud Light. When you at that damn stadium, because you already bought the damn tickets and don't buy none next year, get whatever beer is their competitors. Don't get nothing from them. Educate yourself. Who are their competitors? Go buy that beer. That's what needs to happen. Send a message, damn it, because I'm tired of them being the only people sending messages to take down Shedeur, their own damn quarterback. And this is what it's going to be like. As black quarterbacks, the starters, continue to make strides and get closer to 17-32. I mean, hell, they only got 13. And if they truly did bench Geno Smith in favor of anybody else, they got 12. But that ain't enough. They refuse to allow Shedeur Sanders his moment. This crazy. So Jerry Jeudy, if you're just not joining us, is not upset at Shedeur. Jerry Jeudy is disgusted with the shenanigans that are happening. He's fairly new to the Browns. He came last year. They rotated quarterbacks. He still had 1,100 yards. That's why Jerry Jeudy is upset. When Shedeur was at Colorado in his first game, the receivers, I'll let you see how Shedeur can throw this ball around and how receivers can benefit. Check this out. And this is them playing football without anybody meddling. Just check it out. And remember, TCU had gone to the championship the year before, so they weren't just playing any Rudy Poo team. Understand that. So check this out. I want y'all to see this. Is Shedeur asking for these receivers? No. Shedeur said, I don't have clout like that. You think they would give Shedeur what he wants? Let's be honest. Do you really think right now? Yes or no? Do you think if Shedeur asked for this, that they would give it to him? Do you really think Shedeur didn't ask to throw to Jerry Jeudy? Shedeur was throwing to Jerry Jeudy in warm-ups, and he didn't even play in the game. No. They would not do what Shedeur wants. They are exploiting the inexperience of the rookies against the veterans of the Raiders because they saw Gage, who they know can catch, who they know have caught that pass 1,000 times in practice. They saw what happened when he went up against a veteran. And that's what they're wanting to set up so their own players can lose their matches. They don't care. So Shedeur did not ask for this because Shedeur was practicing with Jerry Jeudy before the damn game. I think it's a video on it. It might be Bucky's video. I don't know whose video it was, but I was like, oh, that's Jerry Jeudy. And Shedeur didn't even play in that game. So you know how before the game, they just be out there? So the answer to that question is no. Shedeur did not ask for that. They would not give Shedeur what he wants. Now, if they feel like they sense something with Jerry Jeudy, maybe they sense some inefficiency or some type of corruption, and they don't want to throw to him, then wait and see what happens. But I can tell you what they saw because I saw it too. Y'all know Shedeur worked with Gage, right? And they allowed him to call his own plays because thank God he got a sleeve. And he called that play because that is his play. The Celebration Bowl to Travis, Colorado to LaJonte, that is his play. So under this, if Shedeur asked to throw to certain receivers, I don't think he would have excluded Jerry Jeudy, knowing I've watched Shedeur throw to Jerry Jeudy before the game started, and he didn't even play in the game. So that's what that is. All right, let's see if y'all can see this. People are going back and reposting Shedeur stats from the TCU game, the Baylor game, and any other game where he balled out, despite the fact that they try to set him up. This is why they're doing this, because they know that they're trying to set him up, right? So now you can see on the screen, I'm to the left, facing your left, and you should be able to see. I'm going to make myself smaller. All right, so now you can see. So let's go over this. Hold on one second. Let me close this out. Close out certain windows. All right, here we go. So this was 45-42, a close game. Vegas said this game is going to also be close, decided by a field goal of 3.5 points. This is a 3-point game. So this is a prime example of a close game, right? Again, this is the first game, 2023, that came from Jackson State. This is the first game in Colorado. Again, Coach Prime came with the Louis luggage from Jackson State and got whoever out the portal. So it's a hodgepodge of people. So here we go. Dillon Edwards as a receiver, which is probably why he left, because he didn't get no numbers like this after Shedeur the second year. 135 yards, 27 yards on average, 5 receptions. Then we have Travis Hunter. We have 11 receptions, 119 yards. Remember, Travis is the two-way player. He still got 119 yards. Then we have Zay Weaver, who did not go to Jackson State. This was his first year with Shedeur, and he had five or six receptions for 118 yards. Then we got Jimmy Horn Jr., who was there for 2 years, but this was his first year with Shedeur. 11 receptions with 117 yards. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you tell me that Jerry Jeudy can't get 100 yards from Shedeur. Yes, he can. They don't want him to. And it ain't about him. It's about Shedeur looking like a star and people asking questions. Why didn't you start Shedeur? Why was he not drafted in the first round? Oh, he really is elite. He was a 5th round QB. I thought y'all said he wasn't good. They lied to us about Shedeur. This right here is Shedeur Sanders, uninterrupted. So they interrupt him every time. So you tell me why Jerry Jeudy pissed, because he knows Shedeur and he know what he could do. And they refuse to allow Shedeur to ball out uninterrupted. Shedeur don't care about the shine. He just want to ball out. I just want to play football. But no, they have to meddle in it. They have to disrupt it. They have to make sure he don't look good. And they don't care who is sacrificed in the process. So to say that somebody who balls out like this, when the refs ain't cheating, when his own O-line not setting him up, when his own head coach not setting him up, to say that somebody can actually ball out like this and they refuse to, this is what they hope J.J. McCarthy can do, but he can't. And they don't even talk about him and how bad he is. But Shedeur only has one opportunity. J.J. McCarthy didn't even play a damn single snap last year. And they had him rated as the number 8 QB this year. And gave him the keys to the team and kicked out Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold for J.J. McCarthy. They bet the damn farm on J.J. McCarthy. And he a bust. And they refuse to talk about it. But they over there in Cleveland stirring up all kind of mess. Doing everything they can to ensure that Shedeur is not successful. So that he doesn't spread the ball out. So that at least he don't have 2 to 3 receivers with 100 yards. with a team that's 2-8. They team don't have to be 2-8 in Cleveland. They made that choice. And Shedeur has done this consistently everywhere he's gone, even on a Power 5 level. And this is why this game was so epic, just like the Raiders game can be. If the Raiders are 2-8, they ain't that good, are they? Unless they were setting up their own quarterback. And here we go, 2 black quarterbacks against each other, 2-8, and everybody say they're trying to flip-flop to different quarterbacks. Everybody say this game gonna be epic because of Shedeur, and that's what they don't want. So this not his only chance. Dillon ain't earned nothing. He's already underperformed. He's already proven he's not that guy. He's not him. Shedeur, they know. They know Shedeur is him. So they finagling, they manipulating, they cheating people, they sacrificing people, and all kind of chaos, because hold Shedeur back from greatness on camera in a live NFL game is the priority. And that's false advertising to the fans. I'm willing to blow up everything to keep Shedeur from spreading that ball around to get at least 2 to 3 receivers with 100 yards. I don't want Shedeur to elevate the game. This is not about him being a Sanders. This is about Shedeur raising the bar. So when the Manning kid come in, he can't reach it. That's what this is about. Black athleticism. So Shedeur has more than one chance. There shouldn't even be talk of going back to Dillon. Why is that? Because Shedeur looked better than Dillon has all damn season through one half of a game that was rigged. Because why? He overcame most of it. But he couldn't overcome the inexperience versus a veteran. And that's what they're setting up next week by saying what? Sunday, by saying what? Shedeur is going to play with a lot of people he was practicing with in the spring. And rookies. Gage is a rookie, isn't he? And that's why. It's just crazy. This is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen. So no, Shedeur didn't ask for this at all, because Shedeur practices with Jerry Jeudy on his own before the game. See, what people didn't know, if you go watch the videos, yes, they denied Shedeur first team reps. But guess what Shedeur and Jerry Jeudy was doing before the game started? And now that Shedeur got first team reps and he can practice with Jerry Jeudy and he going to start this game, he can't throw to Jerry Jeudy. Let's see if it happens. If people were talking about it, they probably wouldn't get away with it. But we're going to see. We're going to see. So let me see what y'all are saying, because this is the craziest thing I've ever heard of. It is obvious that Dillon is still an undrafted free agent. He was given everything, earned nothing. Shedeur earned everything, not given anything. They lied, they cheated, everything. Lied about Shedeur. They lied to us about Shedeur. They've been cheating Shedeur. They've been cheating the fans while giving Dillon everything, propping him up, and he still fails. When they prop you up and you fail, that just shows you got to where you are because of who you knew. The Manning Passing Academy and Dan Lanning. That's it. I asked who the starter was for the Raiders, and they said it was still Geno Smith. So don't be surprised if it's somebody else that they think can look better than Shedeur. It said, why is it it's only black guys in the sports media saying this about 12? Saying what? Oh, that he only has one chance? Because they in on it. They bought and paid for. People just need to step that. That your favorite podcaster might actually be bought and paid for. You know, they talk about the Whitlock guy. Well, at least you know who he is. He don't flip-flop, do he? He just Uncle Ruckus 24/7, right? But the other ones, they flip-flop. It said, I'm here waiting on Boss Lady. Appreciate the show. Hey, nice. How you doing? It said ESPN Cleveland was talking about Jeudy, how he was speaking regarding Shedeur. Perhaps the fans can have him by the balls. They lying on him anyway. They lying. I'm telling you, they don't want Shedeur and Jerry Jeudy. They don't want it. They don't want Shadur and 1,100 yards, Jerry Jeudy balling out. They don't want Shadur and Travis to emerge with Shadur and Jerry Jeudy. They lying. That's why I say they so messy. These are the extremes they willing to go through. They lied about Shadur, and now they lying about Shadur and Jerry Jeudy. They lying. I showed you his interview. He didn't say nothing bad about Shadur. He said, yeah, we just need reps together. Of course. That means we need first team reps. I guess that's their way of saying he spoke out against what Stefanski was doing. So they coming for him. Retaliation. It said Jeudy can't be traded and he can't catch worth the damn. It said Isaiah Bond is suspect too. It's I don't know. I'll never see him play. Hey Gail, how you doing? I'm not mad at Jerry Jeudy because he didn't say nothing about Shedeur. They lying. Hey everybody, how you doing? It said this is so sad. They keep moving the goalposts. It said now they will not let Shedeur play with the first team players. Facts. It said Shedeur will soar anyway. The NFL is sick and Cleveland Browns is the worst. That's it. That's what they doing. Who puts in okay, when Tom Brady was the backup, remember I asked y'all a question yesterday? Name some backups. Y'all said Lamar was a QB2 and he got to QB1 and he balled out. Y'all said Jalen Hurts was a QB2. He got to QB1 and balled out. Y'all mentioned Tom Brady. You mentioned some other people. Do y'all think when Tom Brady was QB2 and he played in the game? One, do you think he never got first team reps? Two, do you think that when he played with the first team, that they were able to bench the first team and put him in with lesser players against veterans? No, they put Tom Brady in there with the elites, but they don't want to put Shadur in there with the elites because they don't want Shadur to look good. They don't want Shadur to go in a Tom Brady house and prove he should have been drafted to the Raiders at number 6. They're talking about how bad Geno Smith is. How many people have you heard say they should have just drafted Shadur? They say that about the Saints. They let the Saints have it. Some people say the Saints caused all of this because they really needed a quarterback and they could have gotten Shadur and people felt like they were. I ain't so sure. Like Cam Jordan said, the Saints have never drafted anybody in the first round besides Archie Manning since the 70s. So they wasn't finna change their mind then. They was playing in everybody's face. Good evening. It said exactly. Shedeur been developing since age 7. Stefanski didn't want to teach him the playbook. That's it. And the fact that it's Pat Schumer stuff. People talked about Shedeur as a backup. It was extremely hard for him to get out here and look good. It's funny how you could see him get in rhythm after he had reps with the first team. In fact, the O-line tried to use the lack of reps to say, that's why we didn't know which way to turn when he pointed to the left and said the blitz was coming over there. They wanted to exploit that lack of first team reps to say, oh, oops, my bad. Let's see if they do that this game. Because, he's had first team reps all week. And if the O-line does well, guess what? The inexperience of the players Shedeur going to play with against the veterans, think Gage matchup against the guy from the Ravens all over again with multiple people. So now Shedeur got to overcome these people. I mean, I ain't saying he can't do it. Believe me, I'm not saying he can't do it because I think he can. Because he did it at CU, but think about it. In the last game, if Gage had actually caught the ball, which he did, protected it, held on to it, and fell on the ground with it, like we saw Travis do, the game would have been tied up, right? That would mean Shedeur was starting to overcome the drives that they killed. But he only got sacked twice. I think it was twice. He only got sacked twice. He need to get that ball out of his hand because they don't want him to take the time to step back and throw that bomb down the field to Gage or anybody else. They were willing to talk about the overthrown pass to Isaiah Bond, but then all of the people that did analysis pointed out how his own O-line failed him intentionally. So again, that wasn't on him. And he switched from Isaiah Bond instead of throwing the ball to Bond twice, which you cannot do. he went to gauge who they didn't expect. And if he wasn't worried about breaking his foul, he would have tied up that game, and they did not want that. So now they're taking that weakness of inexperienced walk-ons, because Gage was a walk-on, and they're going to pair up several inexperienced walk-ons with the veterans of the Raiders and make them look like stars. Wow. Shadur looks like, oh, it's his fault. I was really happy that people came to Shedur's defense and said, Shadur threw some perfectly placed balls, and he did. Shedur's O-line is trash. Correction. Shedur's O-line was intentional on the right side. And I'm looking on the right side. Just like when I watch Colorado, I'm looking at the coverage all the time, because that's the problem. And it's intentional. Now, if things shake up at CU, I promise you that ain't gonna be no problem no more, because that's a tactic to kill the drive. They did it to Lamar. I think that's why he mad. So he over there fussing at his own teammates, saying, you ain't played, so why you don't have no be celebrating. He's upset because he watched film. He know what's going on. He saw what they said about his defensive coordinator, and he saw his defensive players. He was on the sideline when they was letting Dillon get a pass. He was on the sideline when they was coming after Shadur. He knows Shadur black. He know he black. Why the hell would you prop up Dillon? You supposed to be the rival. So he's upset. I said it. These black quarterbacks, all 17 of them with Shadur, regardless of benched or not, need to be in a group chat so they can come up with a strategy to overcome the racism that's being hurled at them. And now they need to overcome something else. Black players being pit against them. Black defensive coordinators being pit against them. There are no black offensive coordinators. That ought to tell you everything you need to know. So the degree of difficulty for Shadur to win the game is not being made difficult by the Raiders. It's being made difficult by the Browns. I can overcome my O-line, but I got to overcome my O-line and my receivers' inexperience. Oh, well, they inexperienced. That's what it is. It said, I found your site 3 days ago, and I've enjoyed your authentic research-based reporting. You tell it like it is and seem passionate about your presenting accurate narratives. Your site will flourish. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe so too. I believe so too. Me and Shadur might take off at the same time. We might take off at the same time. I have no problem with that. Thank you so much. That's kind. Thank you. And y'all were very kind and generous earlier today. I really appreciate it. That's motivation. That's motivation. And I told them earlier about how I had to take a step back because I was getting a little teary-eyed when I started looking at what was going on. I'm like, God damn, they gonna set him up again. Cam Newton was right. Every single time he played a game, it's gonna be the same. And I'm like, okay, God, come on now. I'm like, we see what they are made about. I need Shadur to win this. I'm like, I need him to overcome. And he know he got to overcome. And this is what I absolutely love about Shadur. He don't let on at all. I love that. I do. I love that. That's a good kid. A good young man. He's not a kid. He's not a kid. He's not a kid. People talk about the patience that he has. I'm like, the patience of Job. Let's just call it what it is. I'm like, this young man, I know he want to go out here. He just so happy to be out there. He's so happy to be playing. And he know what they trying to do. He know. And yet, it don't get him down. That should motivate a lot of us. That should motivate a lot of us. But I think he going to win. So we're going to talk about that part tomorrow. They said 158 yards. I'm going to go down. I'm going to sit down, and I'm really going to look at the Raiders and see who they are. But in addition to black NFL starting quarterbacks being in their own group chat called 17 to 32, I need these black players who not with the BS-tery, who not willing to take down their own black quarterback. I need all of these black players, black defensive coordinators, black head coaches, black personnel who not with the BS and understand that they trying to make it black versus white, not the Browns versus the Raiders. And don't buy into that, right? I'm not saying you gotta cheat, no. But what you can't do is agree to protect a quarterback that's not black and set up and take down a quarterback that he is black simply because he's black. You should be playing your game regardless of who it is. Anything less is cheating. Were you bribed? Were you extorted? Because that's one of the tenets of racketeering, along with fraud. And they're going to blame you. And I hope Zach or the defensive coordinator for the Ravens know they're coming for his job. When you let these people use you, you end up pissed off like Jerry Jeudy. And I ain't mad at Jerry Jeudy, but this is a lesson for him too. Don't ever play their game and don't ever play company man. Good evening, good evening, good evening. It says Stefanski wants him to foul so Dillon can take the QB1 spot. Facts, that's it. And people who are talking about, I don't mind people talking about the game is epic. It is going to be epic. I don't want nobody out here who heard my voice acting like whatever happens is on the up and up, because it ain't. I don't want people going, damn, he really not good. First of all, nowhere is it that somebody that is uber talented as Shadur, who really is elite first round talent, nobody should ever be labeled fifth round talent just because they were drafted in the fifth round. That is buffoonery. It will never hold up in the court of law, and it's not even common sense. That is no different than you trying to say that on Monday, the sky is blue. Sunday, the sky is blue. But because it's Tuesday, the sky is purple. No, it ain't. It's still blue. If it ain't dark in the daytime, it's blue. And nothing's going to change that. So Shadur Sanders being locked up out of the first round does not make him second round talent. It does not make him third round talent. It does not make him fourth round talent. It does not make him sixth round talent or fifth round talent. And had they succeeded, which God did not allow, just like God did not allow him to steal his jewelry, them to steal his jewelry, if they had succeeded and made him an undrafted free agent, he would be a first round elite franchise QB undrafted. He would never be an undrafted talent quarterback. The skill set doesn't change because you weaponize the rounds and the positions in the draft. He's not a fifth round talent. He's a first round talent that they pushed. He didn't fall. He got pushed to the fifth round. And they need to answer for that. And everything you're seeing, all of the manipulation, allowing Stefanski to run roll, all of that, Shedeur playing with the twos and the threes against the veterans for the Raiders, all of that is designed to make sure that the owners never have to answer for the collusion of pushing Shedeur down to the fifth round or an undrafted free agent. That's what everything is about. They're willing to blow up all of it, expose themselves all over the place, rather than admit they were wrong and be responsible for colluding against Shedeur. You know why? Because Shedeur is not the only person they colluded against like that. They colluded against Lamar Jackson too. He was a Heisman winner, and he went last in the first round. They know how to weaponize the rounds of the draft. And the only people who refer to Shedeur as a fifth round QB, like that's his talent, like it makes sense for him to be behind Dillon, and it does not, are people who don't want 17 black starting quarterbacks in this league. And people need to understand, when y'all out here arguing with these people who taking down Shadur, you know who you're arguing with, right? You know the rallies they belong to. You're arguing with MAGA. You ever asked yourself if these people are all MAGA because they are? Why it is you don't see the signage and the hats and they not loud and proud about it? Because what would happen if they were? The league wouldn't be. Then you'd say, I'm not supporting that. But because I'm wearing a mask and hiding who I am, that's still who I am. Just like Shadur is still a first round QB that they trying to hold back to cover. CYA. That's what it is. So thank you all for the compliments for the channel. I appreciate it. It said, good evening, good evening, good evening. So yeah, no, Shadur got more than one chance. Dillon already failed. Shadur should be the starter for the rest of the season. Do y'all agree with that? I hope Kevin's plans come to fail. I totally agree. I said it. It said Vegas will be packed. It said tickets up, hotel prices up. Ross Tucker is excited to see Shadur. Yep. And somebody on X that I just followed, because she said she was going to the game. Doctor, somebody, I forgot. She said, I'm going to the game. I'm gonna give y'all some live footage. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna follow you. Cause I'm like, damn, I wish I could go. Now everybody want to go. And see, here's the thing. People said Haslam is dumb. They like he could be charging $300 for nosebleed seats for Shadur. But to hell with the money. I can't let blackness excel. That's what it is. MAGA. That's all it is. That's who these people are, which is why they hide the signs. They hide the hat. But that's who they are at the end of the day. You don't change your heart because you don't wear the hat or because you don't hang up the sign. And that's why they hold the Shadur back. When people say things like, I for the life of me don't know why they don't like Shadur. I'm like, please stop. Racism. That's why I stop acting like these people are not MAGA. This is the only place we coexist with them, the NFL. Because they don't put up the signs, because they don't wear a t-shirt, because they don't allow them to show themselves, because they know what would happen. So they trick you because you don't see it. It's kind of like the KKK. You don't know who that is under them. But when you meet them at the gas station, you don't know who you're talking to until you see the hat. That's who. This is the only time we're going to coexist with these people like this. In the real world, we don't associate with them like that. We're not even willing to do that. We would never walk into a party sponsored by MAGA. Never, ever, ever. But we are willing to cheer on teams with them. But mostly we fight against them because why? They racist against black quarterbacks and black excellence and black leadership. Think about it. This is the only time we're going to have anything anywhere near being in the midst with them. And that's why they hide it. But that's who they are. So don't argue with these people if you don't have to. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It says Shadur will soar. I believe he will too. I'm praying to God, like real hard. I'm like, I believe, if you have an intimate relationship with Christ, you don't have to go on your knees and pray because all day, you let God direct your steps, right? I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm going to need to get on my knees for this. I'm like, because I need this young man to win for him. I'm like, because he done been through enough. I'm like, don't let these people win. I'm like, they've been cheating him enough, right? But what do we see, right? He got robbed and they didn't take his jewelry. And we felt like that was a victory because you didn't get the best of it, right? He even said it. They didn't get my jewelry. And they was like, they laughed because that's funny. That it matters to them, right? So, God, he overcome. I think he gonna win. I really believe he gonna win because he knows how to overcome. And yes, it's more than overcoming the O-line. It is the understanding who the receivers are. But he know who the receivers are. He know who the receivers are. He does. He know who the receivers are. He knew who they were at CU. He found out quickly, and even when, remember Will Shepherd was the last one to come online, he stuck with it, said it, okay, you got to get this. And he got it. He didn't give up on him. He did not give up on him. So I hope it's more important for Shadur to win than it is for them to continue to be exposed because we already know who they are. It's MAGA. We get it. And it's the only time we're going to coexist in any type of activity with them. Because we don't see it. It's not obvious because they hide who they are. You know they love to tell you who they are. This is the only time they don't tell you. They want to have some credibility, so they don't tell you. Because if they told you they was MAGA, they wouldn't have no credibility in this space. And you know it. It says Shadur got this. He just need the protection is right. He need to overcome the protection and pick the right receivers. The ones who not that he could trust, but that have the experience. It said Jerry Jeudy will not have incentives this year, right? He won't. And that's why he's upset. And they know this. And for them to sit up and say Jerry Jeudy's upset because a quarterback changed to Shadur, that's messy. That's trying to pitch Shadur against Jerry Jeudy. That's trying to force Jerry Jeudy to come out next week and say, I want Dillon. I want Dillon. That's what it's supposed to do. And to start mess between Shadur and Jeudy, but it ain't that simple. It ain't that simple. And personally, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Jerry Judy need to see the writing on the wall and understand that these people will use you like a pawn and cheat you out your money just to keep a black quarterback off the field. And this ain't the team you want to be on anyway. Yeah, it's fake. It said Judy worried about catches. Yep, he sure is. I just pray that there is no sabotage and it's the clean, fair game. I love you, Marlon, but that ain't happening. The sabotage is already in place. Already in place. For those of you that were not there with us earlier, I'm just going to put it on the screen. If you go back and watch the other video, you'll see the context and the commentary I have around this statement that was made earlier by Daniel Oyefuse after Tommy Rees had his press conference. This is how you know that there's already sabotage in play within the Browns camp against Shedeur. Shedeur should be, you would think, playing with the ones that he's practicing with, right? All right, so I'm gonna just leave that on the screen for y'all to read it so y'all can see what time it is. You might have to zoom in. Hey, Tina, how you doing? How you doing? Yep, Dirty Dogs. It said they were talking about trading Judy a few weeks ago, right? And because he expressed himself, they trying to get rid of him. But he ought to be happy because, I mean, look at what you got to do to exist there. It said they mad because he was connecting on the field with Shadur, but not Dillon. Right. And what happened to Flacco after he was connecting with Shadur in London? He got gone, didn't he? Now it's Jerry Judy's turn. I'm like, what, you going to get rid of everybody because they like Shadur? All that's going to be left is the players that's willing to set up Shadur. So they're making an example out of Jerry Judy for the rest of the people. That's how intimidation. It was Flacco, Tony Brown. Is it Tony Brown? Tony, that's gone. Myles Garrett and Jerry Judy. Anybody that speaks up on Shadur being ready or that goes to Shadur's aid, that want him to be okay, that helps him practice workout or say that he's good, they get retaliated against. That's what it is. So if you want to exist on the Browns, you have to act like Dillon is the guy. And understand this, before Deshaun, it became known that he was supposed to return to practice, which he has not. They had him out there stomping for Dillon. I said, And guess what they came out and said last week? He not coming back to practice yet. And now, guess what they already came out and said again last week? We're not trading. We're not trading him. So he's gonna be right there next year, and he's gonna sit right there on the bench next year. When are these people going to learn that do not step and fetch it for the person of their choosing against your own common sense and your own people, because they're going to just use you up and make you suffer? So y'all will not be seeing Deshaun Watson. They won't even let him come to practice. So Bailey Zapp sounds like he the one out there. I know he like, I hate I came here. It said they are going to give 12 second and third stringers to sabotage and give Dillon Gabriel the first stringers. Nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty work. Facts. It said, yep, trading Judy and Njoku. Yep, they trying to get rid of him too. They said he is too old. Everyone that attached to Shadur, the Browns to remove. Gage will be next. Right. If Gage would have caught that ball, he would have been gone tomorrow. Even though you can't trade people, apparently. But facts. I feel bad for Gage because the way when one of the players catches the ball after it's a bad catch and you don't catch it or whatever, a crucial catch, and you don't catch it, you can just kind of see, how it kind of gets to them. Like he just sat on the ground and he was just twirling his little towel and he was just like, damn, and this thinking and stuff like that. But he's inexperienced, and that's what they're going to exploit this week with the 2s and the 3s. See, Cam Newton is right about this. Every time he step on the field, they're gonna try it. But let's see what God gonna do, because that's all we need to look at this point. We know Shadur can overcome. We've watched it, but now he has more to overcome while trying to win a football game. He got more to overcome with the Browns than he does the Raiders. Understand that. The Raiders are 2-8. They can't be that good. The Browns didn't have to be 2-8. They just made the choice. Oh, okay, Tina. Thank you so much. It said Kevin got a dirty heart. Yep. How is anyone this evil? Totally agree. What was that movie in Mississippi? When people say, how are people so evil? I always go back to James Byrd or Julian Johnson's log, his whole damn page. What is the movie about Mississippi? Time to Kill? I think that's the name of the movie. If you have not watched it, go watch it. He's sick of them, not Shadur, right? And that's what they don't want to admit to. So they trying to say, oh, he's not sick of the shenanigans from the team. He's not sick of Stefanski holding back Shadur. They want to say it's Shadur to start a problem, and now his future is uncertain. I'm like, every time somebody wants to win and wants to win with Shadur or goes to Shadur, they get retaliated against. It's just a pattern of behavior. I'm like, that's why I say Haslam got to be forced to sell this team, because changing coaches is not going to matter if Haslam allows. This is racketeering. I keep saying it, but I don't think people understand me. But I'm telling you that that's what it is. The tenets of racketeering, this checks two of the boxes. And this is why I say, if they actually have a congressional hearing, then you know what? They going down. But what have people said? Shadur got one hell of a lawsuit. And so do the players that they have retaliated against. It says it right here. Examples of illegal acts and racketeering: extortion, blackmail, bribery, and fraud. How is it I can get 3 linemen to turn to the right when Shadur is telling them to turn to the left? How is it I can get only certain tight ends to drop the ball and they're normally white? Why is that? Bribery? How is it that only Cleveland's players, the quarterbacks, are hurt a lot and that's how Shadur could play? Why is it only Deshaun has only been hurt in Cleveland like this repeatedly, and the insurance company can pay his salary, but this never happened with the Texans, and they don't want to trade him either? Fraud? Extortion, breaking into Shadur's house and trying to get what? Lying about it was an open door, because it wasn't. I saw the video. Just because I ain't addressed it don't mean I ain't see it. I got to go back and look at it again before I comment on it. I didn't even know if that really was Shadur's house. That's why I had commented on it. I'm like, it looked like it, but I didn't see it from that perspective, so I need to do some studying before I comment. But if that was his house, and they did override the alarm, which was driven by Wi-Fi, because you could hear a beep like they were trying to turn it off. They kicked that door in. And they were, all 3 of them, white. And the media still has not talked about it. The national media did. The local news media did. But the sports media has not. I don't know what else you need. They talk about everything with Shadur excessively, even lying about Jerry Jeudy. They talk about Shadur's speeding ticket to the point where you thought he would beat up somebody in the street and robbed them. Did they know they were white? Is that why they quiet? The 3 old linemen robbed him, and 3 white guys robbed him at his house. And the police lied and said what? They came through an unlocked door. Well, damn it, if they kicked it in, you know they kicked it in. So why lie? If you never ever hear anything else that they don't know, they didn't catch nobody, then you know why everybody's silent. They knew they were white. They know it's an inside job. And they lied and said they came through an unlocked door. I even said they must have had some codes, the people at the laundry, because who else gonna get the garage open to get to the interior door? It didn't even happen like that. They kicked the door in. Why they didn't say that? Why did they have to lie and make Shadur seem careless rather than say 3 people kicked the door in? Why? That explains why they were so dismissive of a copycat crime. If they had copycatted like the other guys did, they would have robbed him at night while he was gone. This wasn't even copycat. This wasn't even 3 dumb random people. Because if it was, there would have been no need to lie and say they walked through an unlocked door, which I said, what's the chances of that? And I'm glad they didn't get his damn jewelry. So yeah, I saw it, but I need to see more of it. I need to spend some time with it. Racketeering. This is why I keep saying Haslam need to steal his team. Understand if Shadur has a lawsuit against him, and a lot of people understand that they do, and Kevin Stefanski is the legal liability. Understand that racketeering starts at the top with Haslam. Who told you Shadur wasn't my pick? So is that why Shadur being set up by the Browns? Even if he's not the one doing the work, he's allowing it to happen? Racketeering. So yeah, I saw it, but I didn't have time to look at it. They want Shedeur to step up into sacks. Right. That's what they said. No MVP for Josh Allen. Yeah, because he don't deserve it. It seems to be a money thing also with the draft. Who they want to get the amount of pay. I agree with that. I said that. I said it seems like to me the Browns can't pay a black quarterback $46 million long term. So is it that they don't want to win with a black quarterback in the first round, like Shedeur, or they didn't want to pay Shedeur, which is how they end up getting him at a deep discount? But he gonna outproduce his draft stock. When is he gonna do that? Because you still trying to set him up. So they making Andrew Berry look crazy out here. That's why you don't see him. Because he's sick of the shenanigans, just like Jerry Jeudy. So I kind of agree with that the money, Shedeur would have made $46 million. And I said that. They would have paid him $13 million. He could have made $10 million from his jersey, and he made about 17 to 29 possibly before the season. That's about $50 million. Somewhere between $30 and $50 million he would have made in 1 year. And I don't know if they was counting his pockets that tough, but they know how much he was going to make. And understand this, somebody going to make $50 million next year, and it was supposed to be Lenore Sellers. I saw a mock draft with Cleveland drafting in every round or through the first round. Oh, through every round, they had Lenore Sellers going number 38, which is exactly what I said. They going to devalue him, and his daddy going to wish he had got that $8 million. Because now his contract is going to be $8 million. Got the listing. Stop thinking you're not black. It said they want Shedeur to step up into the sacks. That's what they're saying by putting out that. I saw the defensive coordinator from the Raiders. I put it on the video from earlier today. It says Shedeur be dropping major gems in these interviews. Please pay attention. Facts. I totally agree with that. He's very intentional. Shedeur should play the rest of the season because white QB likes Peyton Manning, and Troy Aikman lost 16 games in their rookie year. But they saying this is a do or die game for Shedeur, a rookie. Right. And even without those guys, what about the guys that are currently playing now? Why they don't talk about J.J. McCarthy? What the hell is wrong with Trevor Lawrence? And they got him locked in to 2029. But Shedeur got to do or die. They said Justin Fields only had 2 seasons left when he got to the Jets. Somebody said, I just don't understand what happened to Justin Fields. I said 150 sacks over his career. It's called PTSD. Stop acting like you don't know it exists. Quarterbacks talk about what PTSD does to you. The reason why they sack the quarterbacks is to rattle them. If you sack somebody 150 times, they have PTSD. Number 12 will prevail. I'm praying so. He is a child of God. I'm praying so. It said, remember the OC stated that he works for Kevin Stefanski. Absolutely. See, people are losing that. People are losing that. That's a very critical point. Tommy Rees works for Stefanski. Tommy Rees is just speaking. So Kevin Stefanski can stay off the hot seat because people have come for him. Basically, Tommy Rees is just packaging up nicely. That's it. He just packaging whatever the BS up nicely. Why do you need to tell me that Shedeur is going to play with a lot of the people? A lot is the key word. A lot of the people that he played with that are rookies that came in with him. Why is it important for him to play with who he came in with if he never had first team reps with them until this week? What about the O-line? They don't have no rookies. We're not going to discipline the people on the right. Nope. But we're going to exploit the weaknesses of the walk-ons that Shadur practiced with in the spring game. I looked up one of the guys that we saw on the practice film. I forgot his name already. He was a walk-on. They poached him from a practice squad. That's who Shadur gonna be playing with. Let's see how long Quinshon Judkins and Harold Fanning Jr. are out there. You can already see who they want to make their guys. Harold Fanning Jr., Carson Schlesinger. Carson is going to replace who? Myles Garrett. And guess who Harold Fanning Jr. is replacing? Njoku and Jerry Jeudy. Not just because they're younger. Jerry Jeudy not that old. He just got drafted in 2020. It's only 2025. So if he was 22 then, what, he 27? Why would he be retired? Because they have people that they feel like one guy is white, and they gave Schlesinger a guaranteed contract in the second round. That's not typical. But what did they give Harold Fanning Jr.? But he is their company guy. See, he young, he fresh out of college. I'm the guy. I get the rock. And he don't absolutely see what's going on at all. Or then again, maybe he do. It ain't nothing he can do about it. But they already got a way to boot out Myles Garrett and anybody else like Jerry Jeudy that gravitated towards Shadur because they don't want Shadur. Stefanski has shown us this every single day. He is in front of the camera. He does not value Shadur. It don't matter how good he is. It don't matter he won the competition. I'm not going to talk about him. I'm finally going to say his name when I'm in trouble. And then I'm going to get the hell off the camera and let Tommy Reese get out here. And y'all going to be breathing a sigh of relief because you believe that change has occurred. But Tommy Reese told you he worked for Stefanski. The setup is already there. We just pray Shadur overcome it because the hurdles keep getting higher and higher and they multiply. It said all Cleveland needs to do is run the ball with Judkins and that will stop the blitz from the Raiders. Then Shadur can do his thing. And what the hell is Shadur going to do if he just run the ball with Quinshon Judkins the whole game? That eliminates Shadur's opportunity to ball out. Oh, he not that good. No. They goddamn it, them damn O-linemen need to block or Shadur need to get the hell away from them. Do y'all remember one of the plays in the last game after Shadur realized what was going on? You can tell when he realized what the hell is going on. You can tell. You can tell it in the Nebraska game. You can tell it in the Baylor game. He ran that down first down himself. He went and got it himself. Because they wasn't doing it right. Why would I trust you? I don't even have chemistry with them out there. But beyond the line of scrimmage, I have to get out here myself. Retaliation won't stop this. No, it won't. It said God don't like ugly. Does not. Richard Sherman on his podcast stated that Kenny Pickett will be playing in place of Geno. You see? Do you see? Why they have to move Geno now? Here they're 2-8. You don't win 10 games, and it is what it is. But now you want to make a change when Shadur come to town. Because I don't know if Geno could beat Shadur. Because then, if Shadur win versus Geno, what does it say about the Raiders not drafting Shadur, but taking Geno? This is everything is designed to CYA from what they did to Shadur, devaluing him in the draft. That's it. Operation Keep Away QB1 for Shadur Sanders. And when he QB1, do something so he don't ball out. They have had meetings about this. They have strategized about this. They have spent more time plotting against Shadur than they have planning winning strategy. We got Shadur. All right, the strategy is to lose. How we going to do that in week 1? How we going to do it in week 2? Or just leave Dillon out there. Well, what we do now, Shadur out there, Dillon got knocked out, which people don't believe. Just let the 2s and the 3s play. We'll take the heat. The media will just distract them with something else. This is how they talk about how to stop Shadur. This is why they drafted him. Because if they didn't, and he had been an undrafted free agent, and Canada said, hey, come this way. I'm telling you right now. I think there are people after this season, if they feel like next season is going to be the same, they just want Shadur to go to Canada. Because he going to ball out. Just the little bit that he did in just one half, he brought the most excitement that Cleveland fans said they have seen in a long time. The Cleveland fans gave Shedeur a B. The YouTube people that I sent the poll to gave him a C. Now, I gave him an A-. But what does it say? That he has excited and awakened that fan base, and they're not letting go. The Browns going to have a fight on their hands against the people that go to the games. We're going to be over here doing what we do. But the Raiders game, if you already bought your tickets, you might as well go. But if you buy tickets on the Raiders side and wear your colors. Wear the orange and brown, but just sit on the Raiders side. The gate goes to the Raiders. And leave the other side empty. The boycott want to continue. That's my point. That's my point. That's my point. It said people make the world go around, but Shadur will turn the Browns around. Yeah. Yes, it's racketeering. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad people see it. The conversation needs to get going. It's racketeering. And what do you think they're bribing them with? Oh, you want your contract renewed? Because what do they retaliate with? They kick people out. They threaten them with, I'm not signing you. Plain old evil. They should be, it said, plain old evil, they should be a blog for Kevin Stefanski. It said, if you had something to say to Stefanski, what would it be? Oh, Lord, that's an interesting question. I might ask it on X. It said, that's a good one, St. Ivy. Thank you so much. That's a good one. It has always been the left tackle to protect the quarterback blind side. Right. And it's always the right tackle that's setting up the quarterback. Pay attention. It said, there was looking to see if Shedeur Sanders had some naughty habits. They was looking for blackmail and planted a bug in the nightstand, maybe a camera. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I said that. I said it's possible. Now, I knew they were looking for something, his devices, to extort him with, or he has evidence. It's either evidence and or extortion. One or both. Evidence, extortion. Understand that. That's why that's why it happened. It was good he moved, and he probably moved because, like y'all said, they planted something. That's probably why he moved. Yep. And yet he still can go out here and be happy and chipper at practice. It says, Shadur, I think he already moved out or sweep the whole place electronically. I think he moved out, Cameron. So I totally agree with you. I say just move out. It said they had a jammer to shut off the alarm, and they had the key code. They kicked the door inside. Right, inside job. Here's the thing. If they had the key code, what did they need to kick the door in for? Are you saying they had a key code and kicked the door in? Why would they just use the key code to get in? Let me know what you're talking about. Are you talking about they kicked the door in to get past the first exterior door, and then they had the key code to get into the house from the outside, from the garage? Let me know. Because normally, for what I can see, that's a nice house. And normally in a nice house, you have a house, a door that goes to the outside from the garage, an exterior door. And then once you get in the garage, you have a nice door that you need a code to get in. Let me know if that's what you're saying when you said they use the key code, but before that, they kicked the door in. It said unlocked door may foil insurance. They didn't do that for the insurance because the insurance is going to come and look. And when they see that door kicked in, there's nothing can be done about that. They lied. And they lied for the same reason that they're not talking about this in sports media. And they knew they were right. They didn't say nothing. And this was before we knew what they were. These are not coincidences. It said they look like the three people that had on Shedur's jersey standing next to Jimmy Haslam at the Miami game. Oh, Lord. People keep saying that. People keep saying that. It said, they said that flashing was a device to disarm alarms in the house. Now, it could have been. It said something is a very powerful entity. It can make the innocent look guilty and the guilty look innocent. It controls the minds of the masses. Yeah, so they use the jammer for the alarm door. If you look at the video, you see one of the guys entering a key code. I don't get it. Why am I kicking in the door and entering the key code? Are you saying they have a key code, they entered it, it did work, so they kicked the door in? Because you don't need both. So I just need a little clarity. That's why I'm not speaking on it, because I gotta see it. I gotta actually look at it myself. What about the fool? After he got hurt, don't hear nothing else. You know what? I ain't sure he hurt like that. Denzel Ward has had 6 concussions. He's still playing. You know why I think Jackson Dart not playing? For the same reason Dillon not playing. Because they were losing. And if I keep them in to keep losing, the fans going to revolt. The fans in Cleveland already revolted. The fans in New York would have revolted. It would have become obvious that Jackson Dart is not the guy. He was just propped up with Cam Scatterboo and what's his name? Malik Neighbors. And then that would have started the conversation. Why you didn't get Shedeur? I don't think he's hurt. They got players that can play with 6 concussions. They left Dillon out there with 17 sacks. I think they are protecting the narrative. We didn't want Shedeur. He ain't good. So we wanted Dart because he was better. Everything you're seeing is designed to CYA and cover up from the draft. And if you ask me, guys just keep pulling back the curtain and they keep trying to close it and guys keep pulling back the curtain. I don't know who you think gonna win, but you ought to know who gonna win. Oh, they said the Saints scheduled a game in Paris. And I said, and it said, I will be praying for Shadur, no weapon form. Yep. Now, that's something y'all need to understand called the necessary evil. All right. It's true. No weapon formed against you will prosper eventually. But you will sometimes lose the fight, but you're not necessarily going to lose the overall battle. This could be one of those games. Well, the last game, he lost the fight. This game coming, he could win the fight and go on to win the battle. Or he could lose the fight at the last game. He could lose the fight at this game. And he could leave the NFL because they set him up and go somewhere else and win the battle. There is something called the necessary evil. You see me protecting you in all of these instances. But in these one particular instance, I'm not seemingly not protecting you, but actually I am. But I'm not giving you what you think you want. Because you're going to have to spend the rest of your life fighting Lamar Jackson. Not fighting Lamar Jackson, but fighting like Lamar Jackson. One of the reasons they don't want Coach Prime at Colorado, if you think about the video I shared, just a snippet of it. If you go watch the long form, this is 2023 with the Denver Broncos coming to work out, right? Think about who else came to Colorado. The guy from the Saints, Alvin Kamara. Think about all of the celebrities that came. That didn't happen this year a lot because they didn't win. They're not going to make him lose every single year. So if you take him down and you put him out, that's done. They don't want that. They don't want Coach Prime having this much influence over college football that he can sell out season ticket after season ticket year, bringing in the celebrities and winning and going to the bowl game and getting to the Big 12. They don't want that. That's why they're attacking his recruiting. And that's why, because the Broncos came out, Russell Wilson came out. That was a boom for that program. The guys who saw that, oh, I'm going to Colorado. Now, the trend is people flipping and leaving Colorado because they made the school look bad. They made Coach Prime's program look bad. And it's all intentional. It said J.J. McCarthy could not throw a pass in the ocean. Right. And they don't talk about him. And he gets chance after chance after chance after chance. And Dillon gets opportunity to lose and lose and lose. And Daniel Jones, 6 years of failure. Trevor Lawrence, failure. But they don't talk about them. But Shadur got to hurry up. Justin Fields got to hurry up. Caleb Williams got to hurry up. Jalen Hurts is trash, even though he leading his team in the division 8-2. So winning is not enough. So again, the necessary evil could be this don't work out. But you go somewhere else where you can be happy and at peace and play your game. Because these people don't appreciate you. And I'm not going to put you in a position for them to benefit and they continue to disparage you and it don't benefit you. See, it has to benefit Shedeur too, not just the Browns. Oh, Shedeur gonna save Stefanski's job. That's the narrative. What the hell would he save his job for? And like they said, Stefanski's job ain't in trouble. You see, they don't even want him to save Stefanski's job. They don't need him to save Stefanski's job because Stefanski's job is not to win games. He's one of the lowest paid coaches to do exactly what he's doing to Shedeur. Hold him back. Devalue him. Make him seem incompetent. Set up his own quarterback. Racketeering. And fans, I'm sorry, the Browns fans, they got to stay on it. They got to elevate their boycott to the sponsors now. And maybe they'll get, maybe once, if something happened with the game and they recognize it, maybe they will. They shocked me last time. So, yeah, I totally agree about this. It's that I think it was NFL collusion behind that robbery because why did it happen around the time Shedeur got to be the starter? It said they trying to mess with his mind, but Shedeur told them he okay. Right. What did Shedeur say? They didn't get my jewelry because he figured that's what they was looking for. But he probably moved because he probably realized they was doing something else. It wasn't just for the jewelry. What am I going to do with that jewelry? Melt it down? Because that's what you're going to have to do with it. And even the jeweler you took it to melt it down would be like, this Shedeur's? So it wasn't even about that. It really wasn't. And I'm telling you, the biggest clue was they didn't talk about it. They didn't even talk about it for clickbait. Hey, Destiny, I don't know what you're laughing at, but I know I must have said something. Welcome back, Destiny. It said Reese saying all the right things. That's it. And the way Reese is dressing it up, well, we want to do it for the players with what's comfortable. Excuse me? He said we want certain players to elevate their play. Why not just play with the ones that are already elevated? So I don't need to give Shedeur first team reps if he's going to play with the 2s and the 3s. And start a mess about Jerry Jeudy at the same time. So he could go screaming and yelling for Dillon. It said, this is the craziest situation I've ever seen in real time. I'm interested to see how it turns out. I'm just glad we're speaking out. Right. I mean, and that's what I said early today. If you are early today, I say, y'all, this is the craziest stuff I have ever seen. I have never seen anything like this. I even told a story about the little cheerleader story, the movie. The lady set up a cheerleader because she wanted her daughter to play, and she went to hire somebody to knock off a cheerleader. But I pointed out, that's one person. I said, this situation is like the entire school plotting to take down a cheerleader. So just somebody else could be cheerleader and not that person because maybe she's black or something like that. They never had a black cheerleader. That's what I mean by there's over 100 people focused on a daily basis from week to week to week. And 100 is a conservative estimation to take down Shedeur Sanders. And now we get into the end of the season and we need him to play because he has to play. He has to play. I don't know if it's 4 games, but he has to play. Coach Prime said he told him, you're going to play in this game. I have no idea how Coach Prime knew Shedeur was going to play, but I know he know people. And I was hoping somebody would tell Shedeur he's going to play. Because I said Andrew Berry needs to use his melanin for good and send Shedeur a text from a burner. Hey, you going in. Somebody. I need these guys to see how they're being worked against. So I need all of the guys who not with the BS, white, black, purple, green, and brown, to start working together to counteract the takedown. If you know it's happening, do your part to make sure it doesn't happen. That's what I need. While they're trying to divide, I need people, unsuspecting people who they don't even suspect, to come together and let Coach Prime know Shedeur going in, and maybe that's what happened. Let Shedeur know from a burner, you're going in. And maybe he did and didn't let on. And I need some of the people who play for the other teams who not with it. Don't take him down if that's what they ask you to do, like Bounty Gate, but you're doing it for free. Don't let them set you up to take this young kid out and hurt him physically under the guise of we're rivals. We're a family over here. We're against them over here. No, it's black versus white. And people gonna not believe it, but a couple of weeks from now they will. And if they look holistically, they'll see it today. Complaining about Jalen Hurts and they 8-2. But see, when Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl and he sat out in the hallway and it was them standing around him with happy feelings from Mays, I think, and Frankie Beverly blaring over the speaker, and he had his cigar. He was having his moments. They were looking at him like an exhibition at a zoo. They refused to let him have his moment. If it were us, we would have just kept walking by, smiled that he was enjoying his moment. But they stood around him, stood over towering him, and tried to disrupt his moment. That's what they're trying to do to Shedeur. It's black versus white. Why? Because they MAGA. They just not wearing the hats to the game. They just not wearing the hats to work on the sideline. They just not wearing the hats at the draft. They're MAGA. It said the Browns injury report is posted. Yes, let me see if I can share it because I actually have a copy of it. That's gonna say something too, right? Let's see if I can get it. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let me get it. All right. Let's see. I saved it. Let me see if I can get it queued up. All right. Somebody said there should be a blog called "What Would You Say to Kevin Stefanski?" While I get this together, tell me in the comments if what would you put on a note to Kevin Stefanski right now? What would you say? Here it is, right here. It's already queued up on top. All right, let's see. So Darren Reuter posted this. I'm going to hope y'all can see it because to me it's a little blurry, but we're gonna try to get through it. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Here it is. Okay. All right. I hope y'all can see this because I don't know. It's kind of blurry to me. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna have to make it a little larger. Who is this? Batonio. So this must be practiced through the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st. Today is the 21st, Friday. Today's Friday. It's midnight. Okay, so Thursday is the 20th and Wednesday is the 19th. So this is the practice for the 19th and the 20th. On Cleveland, we have Batonio, not injury related. They arrested him. He was limited and he played full practice, so he will be playing in the game. Look for number 75. M. Collins, defensive tackle, injury related. He was resting, but it looks like he's at a full practice yesterday. He will be playing. Here we go right here. Conklin, that's tackle. I think he is a right tackle. His knee, limited. So question mark. Cornelius Lucas might be back. Hopefully, I pray he is. They paid Cornelius Lucas $5 million for this year and next year, and I don't even know if he played yet. So this might be where we see him. They called it a midnight sale, like they got it for cheap. That's Andrew Berry. Delpit, that's defense. He's a safety. That's the one that said he likes Shadur being out there. His elbow looked like he'll be back. Full practice. Dillon Gabriel, do not play. So he not back. Myles Garrett, not injury. Okay, they rested Myles Garrett, but he did practice. He was limited last week. He was limited, and he sacked Lamar Jackson 4 times. Lord have mercy. So let's see if Myles Garrett is in the game. He's at practice. Njoku, do not play. So likely Shadur will not be throwing to Njoku. If you didn't see the depth chart, we looked at it on my last video from earlier today. Robinson, a tackle, I guess. The knee, limited. I don't know who that is. I have to look at that. Thrash, wide receiver, his foot. Do not play. We won't be seeing him. Possibly we will not be seeing him. Defensive end, right? His quad. I don't think he'll be out there. Denzel Ward. He's on rest. He was limited last week and he's full, so he'll be back. So I don't really see anything significant other than Njoku, one of Shedur's targets, is not probably going to be out there. And Conklin, I have a feeling he'll be back. But Tonio, I guess he must have played last week because he said something about Shadur was hyping the crowd up, and he's like, okay, but we can't hear. Again, it was giving Callahan. Trying to make Cam Ward seem difficult. And here we go, full. So he'll probably be back. He is a guard. I don't know what side of the field he was on. I have to go back and look at his play specifically because I did not. But do I trust it? He'll laugh it off, but I don't trust it. On the Raiders, mostly everybody's healthy. Only nobody's DNP, so they all gonna be there. Max Crosby, who knows Shadur, O2, all these other people. Somebody's ribs that even he limited, but he might be back because Myles Garrett was limited and he played. And Farham, Achilles. All right, so I haven't heard 100% who the quarterback is going to be. Thrash being out, I think, is interesting because that depth chart is already limited at receiver because of injuries. Again, watch the tight end. Just watch the tight end. That's all I can say. Just watch the tight end. But that's the injury report. Not much on the Raiders on the other side. But I feel like they didn't try to do the damage already. So we don't know. It said, Shedeur by way of God shall not be undervalued, underestimated, and marginalized. I hope not. I hope he prevails. I don't bet, but I'm hoping he wins. It said they don't want to talk about the many drop passes that happened in that game. There were at least 6. What? 6? That's crazy. I was so busy looking at the linemen, I didn't even look at the receivers. All I'm saying is run the ball. We'll set up the passing because if they make the game about Shadur passing, the Raiders will blitz. Oh, okay. I got it. And Cleveland offensive lines couldn't protect him. Yeah, because they chose not to. Thank you for that. Thank you for the clarity. Is that 22? Okay, thank you for the clarity. It said, what are the 2 words you wanted us to guess last night? I'm going to take it tomorrow at 6 or today at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The question I asked, and I'm going to say this in the members only section tomorrow, is what's making the NFL currently a no fun league? What makes it a turnoff for a lot of people? What makes it frustrating? What's annoying? What's ridiculous? Why is it the no fun league once again? 2 words. And I'm going to tell you tomorrow. If you're thinking of becoming a member, you don't have to sign up for the rest of your life. You can become a member for 1 month. I think it's like $2, $3 or whatever. Join us. We have fun. 6 o'clock tomorrow. We go live at 6 o'clock every Friday. Rain, sleet, or snow. As long as I got Wi-Fi, we going live. It's a fun time to get together because we just get to talk, right? Yes, looking for evidence and extortion. That's it. Inside job. That is so it, Raymond. That's it. It said, what she says sports needs to lock down. Shadur needs to lock down his network parts, protect himself from any part scamming. Port scam? Oh, ports. Yeah. I totally agree. It said Ohio unauthorized use of property, computer cable, or telecommunication. Yeah. They said he moved. And now that he's moved, and if he has moved, but they said he did, he ain't gonna let nobody know what he said. And even if it was the dry cleaners, Florida gonna have to pick that up. And now they're gonna start looking behind them in the rearview mirrors. And they need, I don't care where he live at, he need a Ring camera, period. And that house got so much other stuff that it didn't have a Ring cam, but it did have a sophisticated, supposedly, alarm system, but it was Wi-Fi, right? It was Wi-Fi. And they don't look tech savvy. They wasn't giving tech savvy to me. It gave somebody told them what to do. That's why people say when you can see him looking through his phone to try to get a code, they said this is just like the phone call situation that they tried to slide in on, that the truth was it was the league. This could very well be the league again. Ransacking his room. Come on now. Them three don't look like they need to be ransacking nothing. It looked like they just was gonna go in there and take his stuff out the closet. So, and why they lied about the door being open when they kicked in that door? You trying to tell me you didn't know he kicked in that door? And to be honest with you, it should have never been that simple to kick in that door. That house is too nice for him just to be able to kick that door like that. It says this to make it look like a break-in. That's what they kicked the door, so it won't look like an inside job, but it's backfiring. Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. So they tried to make it look like it wasn't an inside job. It said fans in NYC wanted 12. They are protecting the narrative. I totally agree. I agree. It said Raiders game is a setup. It is already. It is very amateurish crime, not professional. They are not professionals. It's not the same people that robbed Joe Burrow or Pat Mahomes or Travis Kelce. The other dudes got busted by the feds. They were Chilean and they were professionals. They robbed them with common sense at night. They sent these guys to Shedur's house because they knew he was going to play. Not a coincidence, because who does that? You would have waited till late. So I don't have to spend time looking at the video. Matter of fact, the interesting part is I haven't even seen it everywhere. I haven't watched it go viral. I've seen it in one place, I think on somebody else's channel. I didn't have a chance to get into the whole thing. I think I saved it so I could go back to it. But as you can see, it's not getting no traction. If you saw the video and you have the link, email it to me at whatshesaid404@gmail.com. Thank you. But I think I know where to find it at. But it's not viral. I don't hear no conversation about they have video of the guys and look at what they did. Y'all don't think that's strange? It says Shadur Sanders is gold. Yes, Julian. Totally agree. It say any good detective can see the details. Right. Don't be surprised if they don't find nobody. To me, they already lied by saying they walked in through a back door. How could they not know that door was kicked in? That's crazy, right? And if that footage came from the same place the last footage did, Shadur knew that they kicked in his door. I hope Coach Brian Bucky and Shiloh will be in Vegas for Shadur. That would be nice. I think the whole family should be there. I want everybody there, including Snow and the in-laws. I don't care. I want all of them there. And they need to make a big showing. Extra pressure on all things Black. Well said. Well said. It said they want Prime to go to the game to see the setup. He should go to the game regardless. It said Prime should pull up. I totally agree. It said the organization is messing with all of these players except 95. Are you talking about Myles Garrett? When you say 95, they mess with him too. They already got him. But he's still speaking his piece, though. He even clarified. Like, at first, they had him out there, that's not my place. And people was like, oh, he don't want to stand up for Shadur. Then he came back and said, it's not my place whether to say how he's doing because I'm on defense. And this is what they told him. You know, you're on defense, Myles. You really shouldn't be speaking about how the quarterbacks are doing because you're not qualified to speak on that. And while they were telling him that, they were pointing to his guarantees on the paper. So you're really not qualified to speak on these things right here. So, watch what you say. Then he came out. He stood up for Shadur again. He said, Shadur's working really hard. He's doing well, right? It's not my place to say which quarterback is doing better. But he clarified it. He didn't just leave it at that and walk off because that wasn't a good look. And then he took it one step further after the game. He said Shadur wanted to take all of this on himself, and I wouldn't let him. That's why Carson Swessinger and Harold Fannin Jr. Now, I hope Harold Fannin Jr. understands, and if his family sees this, just like they work in Jerry Jeudy, and they ready to discard him, Harold Fannin Jr. is up next. Don't think you the company dude, because it ain't going to work for you. It's not going to work for you. It said, think about if 12 was so bad, why enrollment increased stadium field to capacity. In the city of Boulder, businesses are booming in the past years. Oh, I totally agree. Boulder Chamber of Commerce said they made $113 million over 6 home games. And I know they got to be pissed off with how they trying to push Coach Prime out with the Big 12 helping. Let's see what happens. Because if I'm a business, y'all going to have to show me who you going to get that's going to make sure that we make $113 million in 6 games, which is more than some small countries produce. The business people got to be upset. Let's see if they speak up for him. Let's see if they speak up for him. Because they the ones that's going to lose. The school going to lose too, but they don't care. It said, yes, they working together. Rama said, my God moves. Yep, we all waiting on God to see what God going to do. I like your idea of the QBs communicating. Yes, this is essential. This is essential. The QBs have to communicate every week. They got to talk to each other. They need to be a group chat. They need to be supporting whoever they see being taken down. Like this week, they need to all be letting Shadur know what to do because they veterans. They've been here. They've been dealing with this, including Geno Smith. And Shadur coming to his town. And I know they know each other, right? So just like they going in on Jalen Hurts, people need to be sending him love like that, right? Just like Justin Fields, they done benched him, send him love. Spencer Rattler, send him love. I need these guys to be in a group chat talking to each other. That's the only way they're going to overcome this foolishness. If not, everybody individually going to be torn down separately at some point, blaming themselves for not doing this, that, and the other, second guessing for the rest of their lives. Should I have spoken up? Should I have let them bully me? Please get in a group chat and talk and support each other. And for the people that's not with the BSeries that have identified it, that work on these teams, y'all need to do what y'all could do to minimize it. You need to do what you could do to minimize it. And stop letting them use you to be the culprit that gets fired for taking down your own quarterback. You know what it is. You know they taking your own quarterback down. Don't be selfish and think, well, I ain't the quarterback. Okay, well, do you want your incentives? Because you're going to need to protect your own quarterback. They want them to be selfish. They want them to not care about each other. This way they better come together. Because it is not the Raiders versus the Browns. It is black versus white. And they made it this way. And that's how they want it. Even if I play the opposing team, I want them to take down the black quarterback. I want my own team to take down the black quarterback. That is the most ridiculous shit I have ever seen. I want the Ravens defense to protect Dillon, but not Shadur. Black versus white. And the NFL made it this way. I said it after doing the draft with the whole thing with Shadur. I said, oh, they want to go to war with their fans. All right. You can't divide the fans. Because the fans that's not racist, they're not with this. They're not with this at all. And the only ones that keep running to the internet are the ones that are racist. NFL running that Willie Lynch. What you say? What is the Willie Lynch? You have said that before. Educate us, please. Educate us. And the purpose of this channel is to inform. You are not supposed to necessarily be upset. That is not the goal. You are to be informed. I don't give a damn if you're betting or if you going to the game or if you plan to watch it or if you a Shedurian or you cheering for Shadur. You need to be informed on what's happening so you're not distraught when it happens. And we all gonna cheer if he overcome. And that's gonna make it that much sweeter if he gets to win. And I hope he take these people down. All he got to do is overcome his own team. And that's going to be enough for me. It ain't even about the Raiders. It's about Shadur defeating the damn Browns that set them up. That's what it is. Peace be still. That's it. Kev, let my people go. Great show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. We get ready to get out of here. Yes, Lisa, it is already rigged against Shadur by his own team. Tina said, I would say to Kevin Stefanski, you're not alone. You're not above reproach. How you think creates your reality. Okay, that's actually good. That's actually good. I like that. I like that. I'm going to say that. 85 is a good blocker. The other tight end are trash blockers. Yeah, you see 85 not playing. And they know, and we forgot about Njoku. When we were talking about the people rallying around Shadur, Njoku was first, right? Hit the like button. I forget to say that sometimes. Hit the like button, and subscribe. I think I'm only like 3 away from 6,600. I don't even know. I have to check. Let me check. I am, because y'all helping me to get to, what is it? Okay, let me check. I don't know what it is. Let's see if I can find out though. Let's see. So y'all can help me get there. I think I needed 3 more subs or something like that. So if you're hanging out in the background, please look at the subscribe button and hit it. Make sure you subscribe. Please, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm going to tell y'all where I am so I can know where I need to get to. I think I'm going to have to make a mad dash for 300 subs before Christmas Eve. I think that's what it's going to have to be. Let's see. I'm at 56.95. I need 5 more subs to get the 5,700. Give me 3 more, 5 more subs before tomorrow. Shit, before tomorrow. And then I can make a mad dash to 300 before Christmas Eve. Some way, shape, or form. If that's what the Lord wants me to have. If you give me the strength and energy to do it, I'm going for it. I think I'm going to have fun doing it at the same time. I was actually thinking, I don't know if I could do this. I was wondering, remember when it snowed, I did like a snow-a-thon. I was live for like several hours. I might try that. And not, like be live for like 5 or 6 hours and just kind of see what happens. Because I got to get to 300, so I got to get creative. So I'm going to have to go to AI and ask, how can I get 300 subs before Christmas Eve and see what the ideas are and try to do it. And I'm going to have fun doing it at the same time. So turn your notifications on, but subscribe. Thank you. And hit the like button, please. All right. So yes, it's rigged. It is definitely rigged. And that's what we're going to leave it off at. All right. So we're going to get ready to get out of here. All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We made it to over 200. Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, I need 5 more subs to get me to 5,700. Subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow doing the day breaking news. Turn your notifications on. You never know when we're going to pop up. I'm waiting for a confirmation as to who the quarterback is going to be for the Raiders. I'm going to watch some Raiders footage. I need to go back to watch this new security video that came out that shows the 3 thieves kicking Shadur door in, and y'all say they had some kind of code. So I'm going to do all of that. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Do not forget, go shopping. I dropped some new merch at whatshesaidsports.com. Check it out. And don't forget, members, I'll see y'all at 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to schedule the live stream tonight. Do not forget, I'm probably going to be checking in on the Buffs. Then again, I might pop up live. You never know. And Sunday, we will be live for the game. Shadur Sanders versus the Raiders. That's how I look at it. Shadur Sanders versus the Browns. Shadur Sanders versus the Raiders. Sunday, whatever time it come on, I'll schedule it. And y'all turn your notifications on so you can get it. And we're going to do our virtual hangout again. The last one was so much fun. And we weren't even watching the game. This time, Shadur will be playing. We'll be live hanging out together. And y'all can watch the game in your respective areas. And we can converse and talk about it. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you, everybody. Have a good one.